Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. I quit on him on Sunday. I was going to give him a chance, take command of the South, and figure something out, but you go over there and lay an egg like that in the red zone, and you show me what you showed me for 2 months, and I'm out. So I don't know where you are.
Yeah, I'm pretty much out. I think the fan base is out. You can just see how bad it's gotten, and it continues to just get worse and worse. And I think Alvin Kamara in the post game locker room is about as honest as he can get, and he just says we have no identity, even though Dennis Allen disagrees with him. But I think I agree with Alvin Kamara. I know I agree with Alvin Kamara. This team has no identity.
What would Dennis Allen suggest the identity is?
An explosive offense is his exact answer. And I 100% disagree, and I think everyone who watches with their own eyes would disagree with that when you go 0 for 5 in the red zone. I mean, look, he threw that ball right to Jesse Bates. It was not even a good decision. The receiver wasn't looking. It would have been, if the receiver was looking, it would have been an awful pass. The Taysom fumble was the first time he's fumbled in 3 years. I mean, it happens. They should have been using him a lot more earlier in the red zone than you waited into that part of the game. It's bad football. It really is a bad and boring product. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It's bad and it's very boring.
What's the status of some of the injuries on offense? I know they were down to a skeleton crew at wide receiver. What do you know at that point?
Concussion for Chris Olave. I'd be surprised if he plays. He's definitely going to be out this week. Rashid Shaheed, that quad hamstring, that's not going to be ready for this week. And then, of course, no Michael Thomas. I mean, it's just you're going against a well-rested Lions squad that's going to be angry after losing to the Packers at home again on Thanksgiving. I just don't see it. I mean, I just don't see how this game is even close. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, the offense is already fragile and awful. I mean, what more do you need? I mean, all you have is Alvin, Taysom, Juwan Johnson, and what, you're going to start using Jimmy Graham now, 11 games into the season?
Keith Kirkwood, baby. Get him the rock.
Look, I just think Derek Carr is not living up to the $150 million contract. It's not even living up to a quarter of it right now.
What does he say?
I mean, some of the stuff that he says after the game, it just becomes, it's like this fake rah-rah stuff. And it's just like, we'll get it. We're going to get it together. It's going to be fine. And I understand I have to be professional because I cover the team, but just after a while, it just becomes nauseating to hear some of the same stuff after each game. It's just like, we have to get better. We're going to get better. I did it when I was in, with the Raiders in 2021, when we went out, to end the season and made the playoffs. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great, but you've had an 11-game sample and it's not gotten better. Like, what makes you think you are going to get better and be consistently this good for the rest of the season? I mean, I just don't see it. I really don't see it, Hunt.
And you were leaning on a defense that you considered elite as of the end of September. You open with a win against Tennessee where you hold them to 15. You hold Carolina to 17. You lose, but you hold Green Bay to 18 points in that game. And you shut out New England. And you're thinking, okay, this defense they can at least lean on. And now you look up and that's not been – it's not a disaster, but it hasn't been elite. And that's got to be concerning.
Told you last week, told you a few times this year, this defense is just getting older. They are just getting older, getting beat by the kryptonite called a mobile quarterback. Desmond Ridder isn't a good quarterback either, Hunt.
Nope.
And they got beat by Desmond Ridder. Think about it. Desmond Ridder beat them. A guy who's just notorious for turning the ball over beat them. Remember a few weeks ago when Josh Dobbs was just doing Herculean things against their defense? Well, 2 weeks later, he's getting benched because he's lost back-to-back games and has the most turnovers in the NFL this year. That just goes to show you this defense just has no answers for a mobile quarterback. It is 100% their kryptonite. They can't contain it. And, maybe the saving grace is Jared Goff this week, who stands in the pocket, but they can't get pressure either. That's been an issue all season. The inability to get pressure. They can force the takeaways, but they can't get the pressure and do anything with the takeaways. So just bad football all the way around. It is very bad football.
Nathan Shepard and Colin Saunders were the two guys brought in to revitalize a middle of the Saints defensive front that had had struggled a little bit after a great run of about 4 or 5 years. How would you judge their play?
As a whole, the defensive line is just not good. I mean, like Shepard, Cam, anyone who's playing along that defensive line. I mean, Carl Granderson has shown flashes, and he's been the best defensive lineman. But, Saunders, Shepard, Cam, anybody else along the defensive line, just not great in the run defense. To get ripped for 228 yards, that's unacceptable. That's stuff that you never thought you'd see with this defense. But as the season has gone along, they've become very vulnerable to a lot of things in the run game, run defense, pressure, sacks. It's a lot of things that has just, gotten worse and worse with this defense, and there's really no fixing it. You're not fixing this during the season.
What do you think Mickey Loomis thinks of this whole situation?
Well, I think that, he wants it to be better. I can't imagine him sitting up there and be like, oh, man, hey, we have 5 wins. We're still in it, which is, like I told you, it's a disingenuous, we're still in it first place last week, and they still have a chance to win the division. But I just can't imagine Gale, Dennis Lauscher think this is like sustainable long term. Like if you somehow win this awful, miserable division, you're going to get blasted by the Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs. I mean, and then where do you go from there? Celebrate a 9-win, maybe 8-win season, winning the NFC South that was miserable and getting crushed on national TV in the playoffs. It's just you can't celebrate that. You can't sustain that moving forward. I just hope he cares. I think he cares. He says the right things. I just hope that he actually does care about the product that he's putting out there for the fans who have been loyal, to the franchise from day one, and just had been heading in the wrong direction now.
What do you think the environment's going to be like on Sunday? It's
going to be vicious. There's going to be some booing. Let me take that back. There will be a lot of booing. There's going to be a lot of booing, and I think the fans have just, who have been loyal for all those years, they're fed up with it. I mean, if you follow on social media, you can just see how infuriated they are with the way this team has played, and I just think it's going to be an awful, awful, awful atmosphere come Sunday, and I can't believe that. I can't believe we're going to go to a home game and hearing a lot of boos. I never thought I'd see that day again post, Katrina.
It's odd. I didn't spend a ton of time down there, but I spent some, and it did resonate with me just how much that city loves that team. And you had such a great run there with Breeze and Peyton, and it's still so fresh in people's minds. And this is the antithesis of that, and it's tough to watch.
I mean, Melissa, I've been covering it since I graduated LSU in 2005. I mean, I remember covering the games at Tiger Stadium because of Katrina and how bad those games were. Then, then covering the Sean Payton era when it started in 2006 and revitalizing, the franchise and the fan base and making them happy. And then these last 2 years haven't been pleasant, man. They haven't been pleasant. The boos have been coming out even last couple games at home. And I hate to say it, but it's just that's the reality they live in. You're going to get booed whenever you're playing bad football. And it's going to happen Sunday. If they win, somehow miraculously win a game with a shorthanded team, maybe the fan base comes back. But like I said, this isn't sustainable long term. Where's this franchise going after this season?
Who do you think is going to win the South?
Boy, man, can no one win this South?
Nope, somebody's got to do it.
These teams are so unwatchable at times. I mean, if the Falcons played like that every Sunday, I guess they can win, but the Saints have the easiest schedule after they, likely lose to the Lions Sunday. They have the easiest schedule, but there's no such thing as an easy win for them the way they've been playing. I don't know. The Falcons are undefeated in the NFC South. I'll go with the Falcons. As much as that pains me to say, I'll just go with the Falcons.
Dirty Birds.
Isn't that sad? Right. I don't want to say that, but what gives you hopes in saying that the Saints can win this bad division just the way they're playing on offense? 3 touchdowns in their last 32 possessions. Just, I don't know. I can't. I would be disingenuous by saying the Saints. It would be an absolute awful thing for me to say the Saints are going to win the division the way they're playing.
Can't disagree. We'll see. Saints and Lions coming up on Sunday from the Dome. We'll chat with Sharief next Tuesday. Thanks, man.
All right, Hunt.
Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.